I'm Christine, and today I'm going to show you how to create your own beautiful work of art using a piece of household trash, a commonly used empty wine bottle. So, what you're going to need for this project is plain old empty wine bottle, a big old brush, some paint of your choice. You need a little bit of newspaper, which I have here, and some polyurethane varnish. Everybody ready? Let's get started.
You want to be a little bit more artistic? I recommend using acrylic paints in all the three primary colors, and you can also use all sorts of different types of paint brushes in varying widths and lengths. I also like to work with the sharpie so I can etch out the drawing onto the wine bottle. And don't forget to put lots of paper down. Sometimes the paint seeps through, and get a big glass of water so you can dilute your paints, and a nice little old washcloth or towel of your choice to wipe off the bottle. Now what you're going to want to do is get the label off of the wine bottle. You can either use a really sharp knife or a spoon. Just apply super hot water to the label, and it'll usually scrape right off like so. See how easy that is? Alright, when you're finished getting that sticker off, wipe off all the excess water so it's nice and clean and there's no remnant of wine label whatsoever. Now, once I've cleaned the label off of my wine bottle, I'm going to go ahead and decide what color I want to paint it. I could use green, I could use brown. I have some pre-mixed acrylic paints that I like to use. Otherwise, I can go with the primary colors I was talking about a little bit earlier. Got to get my big brush ready to go too, so I can completely cover the outside of the wine bottle with just one plain color, and then I can add other colors. I decided to go with this really pretty turquoise blue color. I can mix it using green and white, but I also have it in the tube. So I put some here on the piece of newspaper. All I have to do is just apply it very thickly, because what I'm going to wind up doing later is painting or drawing directly on this with a Sharpie pen. So I want my initial covering to be very thick. So make sure you completely cover the wine bottle with the acrylic color of your choice. And when you're finished, it should look something like this. So if you do have some paint marks that or some brush marks that you want to get rid of, that's all right. Just go ahead and paint over using that same brush so you have more of a uniform color. Now what I'm going to do is take the Sharpie pen and draw. I think I'm going to draw a queen on this wine bottle. Do a little outline. You don't have to get really detailed. For those of you that aren't artists, you don't even have to do people. You can go ahead and do like a Jackson Pollock, do a whole bunch of paint splatters. Anything will work. I'm actually just going to do some eyes, nose, like so, and a mouth. Give her that little queenly looking coat, a little crown. Give you guys an idea of what I've been doing. I'm going to keep it pretty rough. And then the next step is we are going to apply paint where I've drawn the outline. It's time to fill in the queen's hair. So I've taken some of that primary acrylic paint that I put out a little bit earlier. I'm going to use the beautiful yellow to make her nice blonde tresses come alive. And if I want to make orange, I can add a little bit of this red to it. So it will look like she went to the hairstylist and got some highlights in that red or the blonde. And if you're a redhead, obviously, or a brunette, use whatever color you like on your queen's hair. But as you can see, I'm just following the lines and coming up with a pretty little blondish reddish tint to the queen's head. Now when you're finished painting, just go ahead and put these paint brushes into a glass of warm water. Try not to use any of your fine china because the acrylic paint will get all over the glass. So I recommend disposable cups. And when you're finished, voila! Now we've got a completely finished hand-painted wine bottle that's actually starting to look like a piece of art. But we're not finished yet. There's one final step. You're going to want to take that polyurethane that I recommended a little bit earlier, and you can reuse the same paintbrush as long as you clean off that acrylic paint. Go ahead and dip the brush inside and go ahead and apply the polyurethane varnish directly to the bottle, because what this will do is bring out the shine of all the different colors of acrylic that I've used. It will actually give it a glossy varnish. The bottle will actually look like it's all glass, which it is, but sometimes acrylic gets a little dull painting it directly onto the glass. And I like to leave a cork in the bottle so that when I am putting this final coat of varnish on it, I won't get it all over my fingers. Now you can use any kind of varnish. I actually like the polyurethane. It is a little harder to clean up, but it gives you this beautiful glossy finish on your bottles. And voila, there you go. You've just taken a piece of trash and turned it into treasure.